There you go.
Okay, we'll reconvene our meeting. Thank you for the break. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
He needs to read the changes first.
Okay.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, we're going to pull item 8E, the City Manager's Office Sesquicentennial Ambassador Committee appointments. This item will be placed on the May 21st, 2025 Commission agenda. Add item number 8S, Growth Management and Planning, Arts and Entertainment, All King Pro Inc., General Services Contract number 2404, Amendment number 1. That concludes the changes for tonight's meeting.
I move that we accept the agenda with the said changes.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner Cantu. Do we have any additional questions or comments? All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those in opposition, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, so now we'll move on to item number 6, which is our presentation. And tonight is the Citizens Academy graduation presentation.
All right.
I'll go down with them. Okay? So we're going to go down and present the certificates.
So the Mayor Lynette will destroy me if I make her come up and speak about the Citizens Academy, but I will. Do you want to come and explain the Citizens Academy? Yeah. So Lynette is it's my senior executive assistant and helped to coordinate. As you know, Ms. Goodman led that, but Lynette pretty much helped to lead this with Katie from my office and other department directors. So she'll give a brief introduction of the Citizens Academy, and then we'll go from there.
So every year the city hosts the Citizens Academy, and we part of the criteria is that you have to live in the city of Daytona Beach and that you have an interest in how local government work. This year we had close to 40, but we only accepted 25 because they had to meet certain criteria. And of the 25, 21 remained. These are 21. And this was my first, and so far this is really the best group. They, not just that, but in terms of being interested, showing up every single Thursdays and asking really engaging questions and wanting to be involved. And I just think it's such a great group. They didn't fight at all, so that was good. But they learned a lot, and most of them said that they enjoyed their time. So thank you so much for making my first time being a really good one. So thank you.
So our first certificate is for Debbie. Is it Baraka?
Mayor, would you read the certificate so you won't have to read them all again?
Okay. Certificate of completion. This certificate is proudly presented to, in this case, Ms. Debbie Barika. Debbie has successfully completed Daytona Beach University Citizens Academy 2025. In recognition of your commitment to public service, community involvement, and civic engagement, this certificate is a token of appreciation and achievement, signed by myself, Mayor Derek L. Henry, and City Manager Deric Feacher.
Over there to the side. Yep.
Tish, can we know what zones they're in?
Oh,
No?
probably not. Yeah. So right here for a picture.
Award a little higher. Thank you so much. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Which community is it?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Zone 1.
Mr. Mikkel Brown.
Yes, the sign.
You look just like
On this side, McKay. Yeah.
He looked just like you.
3, 2, 1. There you go.
And we will do a group picture.
What zone was he? What area?
Mr. Roberto Di Nicola. This is zone 1, right? Margaritaville. Zone 4, I'm sorry.
No, he's in one.
Stacy said, get it right.
No, he's in zone 1. He's the tennis man. He's on one.
He's in Margaritaville?
No, he's.
Zone 1.
Who's the next one?
Oh, Miss Lisa Di Nicola.
And she's zone 1.
Zone 1 from age 1 on up. So come on.
So next one is Miss Karen, is it Agar?
Eager.
Maybe you guys can go ahead and say what zone you live in when you come up.
Well, this is at 6, but I don't know where she lives.
One more time. Right here, yep. Thanks so much.
She's 4.
Zone 4. Mr. Nick Edgar.
Which zone is that?
Zone 2.
Zone 2.
Got it?
Lynette Gonzalez.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Which zone?
She don't know which zone. No, 'cause I don't know what zone I am.
Well, it's hard to tell right now. Glenn Keltos.
Glenn Keltos.
I have no idea what zone.
I know.
Somewhere in Daytona. Somewhere. That's all I know.
3, 2, 1. Awesome.
I think they got it now. It's just like for me.
Tracy Lynn.
We did talk about you just for a minute.
They out here, we can start putting them on board.
One of the reasons that we want to know which zone you're on in is because we have boards, and people who go through Citizens Academy, in my opinion, are prime candidates to serve on the city's boards. Wouldn't you agree?
And some of us have empty boards that we need to fill spaces.
Business development is still open, I bet.
Yeah.
And is it Zenova McCall?
Zenobia.
Zenovia.
LPG in the front of it, I don't know what it's on.
Zone
4.
You're still. Leslie McLean.
Quinita's zone.
Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Love it.
Okay, is it Rhonda Netzheimer?
Awesome. That's zone 1.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks. I'm here because of Monica. She's told me about it. Thanks.
I'm gonna ruin it now. Is it Philip Rangoski?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Zone 2.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is it Jack Symes or Sims?
Signs.
Symes?
Signs for the times. He's the next city manager.
Hey, believe me, I know.
I'd like to point out Zone 4, Commissioner Cantu. She did a great job promoting this program. Thank you all for getting us through it. We got a great team here.
Thank you.
And I don't ask questions.
Hey, the first person I received an email from with a bunch of questions in a call.
Linda Smith? Linda Smith? She's
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you.
I live in this neighborhood. I call it Zone Station Place. And this has been a wonderful experience. I'm telling you, you got good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane, is it Spinucci?
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
I'm so Zone 4.
Y'all competing now.
Matt Suttonfield?
Just have to say the mayor's in my zone too.
Well, so am I.
Thank you so much.
And then Terrence Thomas.
Thank you.
Looks like they couldn't make it tonight. Catherine Schrader and Kathy Wasaki.
Yep. So thank you all for participating in the Daytona Beach University. We received your feedback and surveys, and I'm truly appreciative for your comments back on what the staff of Daytona Beach did for our community, and appreciate the great work that they do. And by you all participating and sharing that information, it really makes me proud to be the city manager for such great individuals. So we're going to ask for the commissioners to come stand right here, and you all to come stand in front, and Xavier will get one picture with the elected officials behind you all standing right here in the front.
We're bringing these or we leaving? We're bringing these or leaving? You bring them? Okay, I see some. You're not too sure. Is there one that gets the clock? Everybody get the clock in the back of the room? then look at Jake, hold your hands. Right here. Yep. Right here. All right, trying to take a picture. 1, 2, 3. One more. Thank you so much.
To receive your diploma, you have to stay for the meeting.
I was just told That's good. Okay, so we're gonna bring that. Kelly. Okay, we're now going to move on to item number 7, which is citizen comments. During this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the City Commission on any item on the consent agenda, and our one and only speaker is John Nicholson.
Caught me off guard. John Nicholson, Daytona Beach side. A couple of things. ABHIN, the submerged land. I don't know where we are with that on the marina, but we were talking at one point of acquiring all of our land, our submerged lands in the river. I don't know where we're on at that, but this would be no problem if we had already done that. So I don't know where we are, but I wish we would continue with it, because there are a lot of things that we could do and possibly might do if we acquired all that land. Secondly, this is one with removal. It took 6 months to remove somebody who never showed up for a meeting on a board. Can we shorten that? Because we're having a hard time getting these meetings working because people don't show up. So it's really a pain to show up at a meeting and then they say, oh, well, the meeting is canceled. Enough people. So 6 months is a long period of time. Could we shorten that, please? The walkway underneath the bridge in the river, we're doing that. We're doing the wooden walkways. We're doing that boat ramp next to the marina. So it's been 2 years, and people use that bridge to go from the library to the mainland. It's a walkway. It's a running path, etc. I don't know when we're going to do that, but I wish we'd kind of hurry it up a bit. The wayfinding signs, again, that's been 2 years. Are we putting them in the same place? Are we getting the exact same signs? Because they did not hold up very well. So I don't know if it's our chance to change it out, but if it is, I would definitely change them out, because they were not doing well as they were. And the Butts Pond, we need to do something about that. I know you're replacing it, but there was a problem with it being too close to the ground, and 1 year it shut out, and during the storm, in the middle of the storm, it stopped, so people flooded. So we need to make sure it's the largest capacity we could get to get as much water out of that community as we possibly can. Thank you.
Okay. That was my only speaker for the consent agenda.
I have a question on 8S. The $60,000, this is for the Arts and Entertainment All King Pro service contract. It's $61,000 a year for 3 years. So this additional 60, is it going to be for this year?
The agenda item doesn't specify the amount. Originally, when the contract was approved, it was approved with a not to exceed amount of $61,000 per year based on unit prices of the contract. But they require the services on a per event basis, and they couldn't really predict exactly how many events they have. So this amendment actually removes the upper dollar limit and just authorizes the manager to spend money for the custodial services as they're needed after events, subject to budgeting and appropriation.
So what are we approving? An extra 60,000? So
You're
up to 120?
approving an amendment to the contract that allows custodial services at different additional facilities, and you're removing the dollar cap on the total expenditures permitted over the 3-year period. Instead, you're allowing the manager to spend monies that are budgeted and appropriated for as-needed custodial services.
Up to how much money?
Up to whatever's budgeted and appropriated. I don't know how much is in the budget for that.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I know that they started with the original 60, and then they did a budget transfer where they added additional. So as of right now, I believe it's up to they added $60,000 to their budget. But that can, based on budget appropriations, that could change.
And that's only if the services are needed.
I'm trying to get at how much authorization is
There's $60,000 additional that's assigned for custodial services. If those $60,000 are not to be expended, they remain in the budget.
So we're just approving an extra
Yes.
60,000. So
Yes. Up to because of additional services that are needed at our facilities.
is
if
that
needed.
in addition to the 61,000? That's what I'm
Yes.
trying. Okay, so
Yes,
it's
it is.
120,000.
Yeah.
21.
121.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Do we have any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone in opposition, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. We're going to move on to item number 9, which is our public hearings and quasi-judicial hearings. Here. Item 9A is Growth Management Planning Department, First Amendment to the ERAU West Plan District Agreement. This is an ordinance on second reading, public hearing. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 6.58 plus or minus acres of property generally located at the northwest and southwest corners of South Clyde Morse Boulevard, South Bellevue Avenue intersection from M3 General Industrial to PDG Plan Development General, approving the First Amendment to the Embry-Riddle Research Park West Plan District Agreement, incorporating the property rezoned into the Plan District, and authorizing development of the property, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the First Amendment, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cantu and a second from Commissioner Strickland. Do we have any questions or comments?
And I have no speakers for this item, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, moving on to item 9B. It's the Growth Management and Planning Department, Daytona Beach EAR Large Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading, but a public hearing. An ordinance adopting comprehensive plan amendments to implement the city's evaluation and appraisal report in accordance with Chapter 163, Part 2, Florida statutes, amending the future land use, housing, transportation, infrastructure, conservation, coastal management, recreation, and open space, redevelopment, economic, historic, capital improvement, public schools and facilities, and property rights elements, amending various maps to update the information shown, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner May.
And I have no speakers on this item, Mr.
All right.
Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Someone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a public hearing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There's
No one signed
speakers.
up to speak on it.
It says public hearing and final action on July 2nd, so we vote on it.
It has 2 public hearings, yep.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. This motion carries 7-0.
Okay, so another public hearing and final action is set for July 2nd of 2025. Okay, moving on to item number 10, which is our introduction of ordinances. Item 10A is the Growth Management Planning Department. This is a First Amendment to Interstate 95 LPGA Boulevard PD. And this is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading, and there's no public hearing on this. An ordinance approving the First Amendment to the Interstate 95 LPGA Boulevard Retail Planned District Agreement to modify the standards for special events within the planned district, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the First Amendment and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to item 10B, this is another introduction of ordinance on first reading. It's the Growth Management and Planning Department Second Amendment to Walmart Supercenter, Sam's Club Planned Commercial Development. An ordinance approving the Second Amendment to the Walmart Supercenter, Sam's Club Planned Commercial Development Agreement to modify certain standards relating to parking, maximum building coverage, and signage within the planned district, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the Second Amendment, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments on this item from the commission?
I have a comment.
Jinx. No.
I just want to say a huge thank you to our code enforcement, Walmart, the call center, Daytona Beach PD. I have lived over in that area for decades. This is the best I have ever seen this Walmart look since I've lived over there. They are doing a wonderful job, and I just hope when this goes through, it stays like it has been. I mean, with the call center next door, the car wash, I have never seen such improvements in a long, long time. And my residents probably can tell you the same thing. I mean, you could go on social media before, they're asked, where's the dirtiest Walmart? It would be us. And people were scared. It's actually safe to actually go there. I was there today, and it was amazing.
Right.
So I just want to give my comments and say thank you to staff and Walmart.
Great.
I want to say thank you to them also, and thank you to Commissioner Cantu too for the maintenance and making sure that they're up to par. And I believe that our Walmart on Bevel is going to be one of the Walmarts of the future too. So stay tuned, everybody, for what's to come.
All right.
Okay, so the public hearing and final action is on May 21st, 2025. Item 10C is the Growth Management Planning Department, 129 Marion Street, Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment, and this is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance adopting a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment in accordance with Section 163.3187 of the Florida statutes with regard to 0.59 plus or minus acres of property located at 129 Marion Street, amending the future land use map designation for this property from commercial transitional to local service industrial, amending the future land use element neighborhood H development policy to allow for limited industrial uses and other uses compatible with the surrounding area, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to 10D is the Growth Management and Planning Department, 129 Marion Street Planned Redevelopment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 0.59 plus or minus acres of property located at 129 Marion Street from redevelopment Midtown Neighborhood Transition Mixed Use RDM5 to Planned Development Redevelopment, approving the 129 Marion Street Industrial Planned District Agreement to allow for communication, health care, animal care, business support service, office, retail, and industrial uses with associated site improvements, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the agreement, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to 10E, it's the Growth Management and Planning Department, LDC text amendment, stacking spaces and temporary fencing. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending Land Development Code, Article 6, Section 6.2 and 6.8 to modify stacking space requirements for gated driveways and temporary fencing requirements for active construction sites, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the Commission on this item?
I'd like to thank staff for listening to the voices of those who live in those older neighborhoods where the stacking was going to affect them having to give up 10 feet of their yard for parking purposes, and for expediting this as quickly as they did.
Okay. The public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to item 10F, it's the Growth Management and Planning Department, Tomoka Farms Road Apartments, voluntary annexation. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance annexing into the city of Daytona Beach 20.20 plus acres of land generally located west of Tomoka Farms Road along the south side of West International Speedway Boulevard, redefining the territorial boundaries of the city of Daytona Beach to include the property, redesignating the boundaries of Zone 4 of the city of Daytona Beach to include the property, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the Commission on this item? The public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to 10G, it's the Growth Management and Planning Department, Tomoka Farms Road Apartments, Small Scale Comprehensive Plan Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance adopting a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment in accordance with Section 163.3187 Florida statutes in regard to 30.8 plus or minus acres of property located at 1484 Tomoka Farms Road and 3039 West International Speedway Boulevard, amending the future land use map designation for this property from County Environmental System Corridor and Activity Center to City Potential Environmentally Significant and Level 2 residential, amending the future land use element Neighborhood U development policy to allow for limited residential uses of the property, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the Commission on this item? Okay, the public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Okay, we're going to move on to item 10H. It's the Growth Management and Planning Department, Tomoka Farms Road Apartments, Planned Development General. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Lands Development Code to rezone 30.8 plus or minus acres of property located at 1484 Tomoka Farms Road and 3039 West International Speedway Boulevard from Volusia County Rural Agriculture to Planned Development General, approving the Tomoka Farms Road Apartments Plan District Agreement to allow for the development of a 344-unit multifamily complex, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the agreement and providing an effective date. And are there questions or comments from the Commission on this item? The public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. Moving on to item 10I, it's a Police Department Code Compliance Residential Rental Registration Program Amendment. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the City Code of the City Code of Ordinances, Article 6 of Chapter 26, Section 26297, related to the Residential Rental Registration Program to carry forward fees from the previous rental licensing program, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the Commission on this item? The public hearing and final action is set for May 21st. So we're going to move on to item number 11, which is our administrative items. Item 11A is Utilities Department, Trojan Technologies UV System Parts and Equipment. This is a resolution. A resolution approving the purchase of ultraviolet system parts for the West Side Regional and Bethune Point Water Reclamation Facilities from Trojan Technologies in the amount of $1,086,409.22 and providing an effective date.
So move.
Second.
Motion, do we have any other questions or comments?
And I have no speakers for this item, Mr. Mayor.
No speakers, no questions, comments. Okay, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. This motion carries 7-0.
Okay, item 11B is the Utilities Department Sandpick Inc. Lift Station number 40 replacement. This is a resolution. A resolution accepting the bid of Sandpick Inc. for the replacement of Lift Station number 40 located at 507 North Clydemore Boulevard in the amount of $1,499,056, rejecting a non-responsive bid, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the contract, authorizing the return of the bid security of all unsuccessful bidders, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Take a motion from Commissioner Cantu and a second from Commissioner Reed. Do we have any questions or comments here? No speakers? Okay.
No speakers, Mr.
All
Mayor.
those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 11C. This is Utilities Department Clearwater Solutions LLC Lift Station Replacement number 8. A resolution accepting the bid of Clearwater Solutions LLC for the replacement of lift station number 8 located at 1210 Bellevue Avenue in the amount of $977,540.81, rejecting a non-responsive bid, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the contract, authorizing the return of the bid securities of all the unsuccessful bidders, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Take a motion from Commissioner Reed and a second from Commissioner Cantu.
And I have no speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. This motion carries 7-0.
Okay. We're going to move on to item number 12, which is a discussion. Item 12A is the Human Resources City Auditor Selection Process. Is Colin here? Is Mr. Sexton here?
Okay, well, we'll have to move it to the next
We'll
meeting.
move it to the next meeting.
'Cause we-
I believe Colin was getting off a plane. Maybe he got delayed in Orlando. So maybe that's why he's not here.
Okay.
Okay. We'll have to move it to the next meeting. Okay. All right. So that moves us to our commission comments.
We start with
First,
Paris.
Commissioner Parrish.
I think this is just more of an FYI. I went to the seafood festival and it was a great time, and they had a lot of people there, a lot of kids too, in Daisy Stocking Park, which was nice to see. I even went to the Cinco de Mayo party on Beach Street, which was very nice. There was a lot of people there. They had some contests. People brought their pets, so that was great. Another thing, Breeze Airways, starting September 3rd, is going to have a direct flight from Akron, Canton, Ohio, which serves the Cleveland area, to direct to Daytona Beach. So that's something that we could start using September 3rd. And then they also have other flights from Westchester County, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, and Providence, Rhode Island. So it's a very convenient airport. So I hope a lot of people use it, and let your friends know. And the other thing is, I went to see Tom Jones at the Peabody, and let me just tell you that Tom Jones could still sing. He was awesome, yes. And he called the Peabody a proper venue, so he's Welsh, and he was just very appreciative too of the sound quality at the Peabody. So with that said, check out the Peabody and the shows that are going on there. It really will blow your mind. And that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner Strickland.
We've had some good things going on in this town lately. We had the Crawfish Festival, the Seafood Festival. We always have plenty of stuff going on. Sometimes I wonder why people don't take more advantage of that, but it's out there. If you just look at the schedules and stuff, you'll find it. Especially the things associated with the city are on our what's that, DB City Connect, our app that you can put on your phone, and it shows a lot of stuff. The other thing is, I was at the Conklin Center today, and I think it's appropriate in this forum to talk about this. The county had given them $141,000 to help them get a generator for when the power goes out and they have storms, which would help them to become a shelter for other people that need shelter during a storm. However, under the current pricing for a generator, they're about $60,000 short. Do we have the ability to help them with that $60,000? I mean, we could give some, if we have ARPA funds left, we could do it individually, or we could put a little heat on the manager to dig up $60,000 to help. Look at that. He's not happy about that one. I don't blame him. But anyway, would anybody be interested in doing something to help them to raise that money? I'll tell you, if you've never been in there, especially to their little art shop, they have some really nice art in there that's done by people that are have some sight issues or sight impaired. Anyway, back to the $60,000. Is anybody interested in trying to help them with that? I'll have to check. Huh?
How much money do you have?
I don't know. I'm going to have to check with Drew on that one.
Mine is this.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that. I knew that a long time ago. You spent yours right off the bat.
For the fire boat.
Right. Paul?
I gave $25,000 last year.
And I gave $5 last year.
Okay.
But you probably have enough to cover the whole thing.
I don't think so. You're a funny guy, Mr. Feacher. Mr. City Manager.
Commissioner Reed thinks you have it too.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll have to see what folks want to do.
All right.
I mean, when she gave the $25,000, and I don't look at it as individual money.
Right.
It's not a small amount of money.
Right.
And $5 last year too.
And $5, so it was $30,000.
Take care of what our balances are.
I know what mine is, and so, but I know where it's going. So, I hope people don't just get to say that. So, it's a plan. Okay.
Okay.
You're getting really good if you ask. You're getting really good.
I learned to ask from the people that ask me. You know, I was standing there today. The lady that runs the place, I can't remember her name, Ronnie something or another. And Bill Chapin was there, and Nancy Epps was there. And the lady says, I would like to have a meeting with you. I'd like to talk to you. I said, how much money do you need, and what do you need it for? And she was like shocked that I said that, which, let's quit beating around the bush here and let's talk about what the deal is, and we did. So
I have a question for you about that. So specifically, it's for a generator when it becomes a shelter. Is that correct?
It's for a generator that they don't have to move everybody out of there when we have a storm with power outages, and they can also accommodate other people to come into there as a shelter during a storm if they have the generator.
And when you say other people, do you mean that local community, or do you mean people with people who are part of the Conklin Center? So the community could go there also, or people with limitations?
I didn't ask that question specifically, but I would think that it would be for
people
that have issues.
The blind across the street, because
So
they
with
have the other
disabilities are
center,
able to come
so
there.
they can move them over.
So you know what, I was over at the Emergency Management Center for the city when we had our hurricanes, and so I will most likely be contributing something, because I think it's good to have local spaces for people to go where they're not traveling too far to go to a shelter. So yes, let me think about the number, but yes, I'll be giving you something. How's that? It's a worthwhile cause for that community in general.
Not for me now, it's for the Conklin Center.
You asked for it.
Commissioner Strickland, you are right. They do amazing stuff over there, and that art program is amazing.
was-
kids are running it.
I don't recall her name right now, but they had a young lady sitting there where you go down the hall and you had to make a couple of turns to get there. And she was sitting there with a picture, and so I stopped and talked to her. And she had something happen to her that caused her to lose her eyesight. But she had a beautiful piece of art in her lap that she had made since she has lost her sight. And I'm thinking, I got two pretty decent eyes and I can't do that. You know, I mean, these people are really, really talented, and I think they deserve our attention, or as much as we can afford to give them. So let's think about that, and in a couple of weeks we can talk about it again, if that's okay.
That's quite okay.
All right, thank you. That's all I have for tonight.
All right, thank you. Commissioner May?
So, last week I received a call from a resident, and yes, when you call me, I will go and check out what you're asking me to go look. So I went to Buc-ee's. I ended up at Buc-ee's, and it was a resident who said to me, you have to come to Buc-ee's because there's somebody there who has to be there for 24 hours as a bet because they lost something in sports. So about 7:30 I got dressed and I went out to Buc-ee's, and I paid for gas. And I went to this person and I said, I would very much like for you to pump my gas. And so we went out there, and his name is David Hale, and he is an ESPN sportcaster. And so he went out there, and I thanked them for coming to Daytona Beach on behalf of Zone 3 and the city. And I said, thank you so much for spotlighting us in your bet. And so it was a pleasant surprise and a nice little moment. So it was very nice. That was my event last week. Didn't think I would ever do something like that. And they were asking me questions about, you guessed it, basketball. And I actually had something to say. So I spoke about Bethune-Cookman and the good things they've been doing in their basketball program, and it was a good exchange. So thank you.
Okay.
Also, sorry, we're having our sunset events in the park, which I'm going to be supporting. It's an ongoing basis. A very nice event. You can get tables, you can get chairs. It's going to be on May 9th on Friday evening. The weather is going to be fantastic, so please come out and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sunset music series in the park, and the person's name is going to be Victor Wainwright. He'll be performing, but it's a nice evening.
Which part?
Esplanade, the Esplanade, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Cantu? Okay.
We had the state convention for the Military Order of the Purple Heart this past weekend. Jim Cameron was there. It was actually very nice gala that they had. June 7th at the band shell, we will have the annual Veterans of the Year that Commissioner Henry and I put on. And that's June 7th at the band shell at 7 o'clock, I believe. And I had one other question, Mr. Gross. Will you be talking about the opinion that came back from the Attorney General for permits and licensing?
I could if the commission wants me to.
Okay.
I did send an
Email out to y'all.
Yeah,
about
I would just like you to say it in public so it's
Okay.
transparent that
All right.
everyone hears.
Sure.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Henry?
Yes, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and Zone 5 sponsored the donut truck to go to 3 of the schools who do a tremendous job of educating, supporting, and loving on the children in Zone 5. So the donut truck went on yesterday to Westside Elementary, and we served 94 teachers. Today we went to Hinson, and I don't have the number for that just yet. Tomorrow they'll be going to Mainland High School, where they'll be serving over 120 teachers. So total over 300 and something teachers were loved on for the work that they do in our communities, because teachers are often not loved on enough. So it was a wonderful opportunity. I did get the opportunity to get off work and run over and greet some of the teachers, and they just were extremely thankful for just some donuts and coffee and lemonade. And so it's the little things that we do when we love on the people who service the others in our community. The sidewalks in Zone 5 have been coming along just nicely. We've got lots of work going on in Zone 5. Some new sidewalks have been completed. Is that all of the sidewalks that we have coming in on Zone 5? They're all completed?
Some more.
Is some more coming? Anyway, they have the community looking nice, the new sidewalk. So I want to thank staff for the wonderful job and wonderful work that they're doing with the sidewalks over in Zone 5. Let's see. I think that is, went to see, I just want to piggyback on what Commissioner Parrish said about the Peabody. Like, the Peabody has stepped it up and they're on 10 right now. Like, I'm almost not missing any of the events that they have going on. Pretty Woman, the Broadway musical, was amazing. Went to see that about 2 weeks ago. Commissioner Parrish was there. And what an amazing job. And they've had some wonderful concerts lately as well. So we've had some really great concerts at the Peabody. So whoever's on the Peabody Advisory Board, I love the new advisory board and what they're doing and bringing quality, high quality, differentiated types of activities to the Peabody. So it's something for everyone. And that's all my comments for tonight. Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to find something real quick. Well, first let me begin by saying happy belated birthday, Mr. Mayor.
And happy belated birthday, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. His birthday was on yesterday.
On Monday.
On Monday.
On Monday. Yes. Yesterday is Wednesday. You know. And in that same regard, I just want to encourage my colleagues to make their sequencentennial selections so we can celebrate the birthday of our city. There are about 3 names that are missing. You know who you are. If I could go back to the seafood and the crab and seafood festival, yes, it was again a huge success. It was our 5th year. Stats say that there were over 3,500 people there.
Wow.
We had over 25 vendors that were there for food, for treats, as well as auxiliary vendors. And this year, yes, we did use the Daisy Stocking Park for our kids zone, and that was a huge success as well. We treated any child that was under the age of 12 with free hot dogs, drinks, and chips. And I know the mayor and his family were over there celebrating with the youth. And it was just want to thank all of our staff from Parks and Recs, from Keith to Vincent to Andrew to Susan to Julie to Justin to Katie. And yes, Katie. This was Katie's first time stepping up in Betty's shoes to do a lot of the things she's doing for our events. And I couldn't tell, didn't miss a beat. So thankful for them and how they assist in some of the things that our vision, brings forward. Then I want to also implore you that, when athletes play in the sunshine, the nutrients that they use, Mayor, you're into athletics, and you, Commissioner May, they expelled a lot of those nutrients when they're playing. And I went to a breakfast this morning in Palm Coast that was hosted by Reverend Kevin James in regards to Bethune-Cookman's football team. They do not have a nutrition table. They do not have a nutritionalist. So folks have been donating various things. I'm sorry? It is terrible. Have been donating various things in order to keep the young men nourished as they're playing and what have you. So as Commissioner Strickland did, I would like to implore you all that if you would like to contribute towards the nutrition of these athletes, these children, these babies that people send here to go to our college that are out in the sunshine, practicing. And their GPA has raised. They're no longer under restrictions with the APR. Their GPA is now over a 3.0, and where it was a 2 point something, and we were on suspension when Coach Woody came. That was part of the presentation day. That's why I know this. And so we're elated about that. We do have to look out for the NIL, where people are recruiting them, and they're now having, it's almost like NFL in college because they're being recruited. So let's try to help these young men stay healthy while they're practicing, and consider something regarding that. I think I'm going to reach out to some physicians that I know, people who understand the importance of nutrition, and try to ask them to assist in this regard as well, because it's very important. We have seen so many stats about young people falling out on fields and what have you, because this sun is no joke. All right. So would you think about that? Would you all think about that?
Would this be ongoing, like throughout their season? Is it one time? How are you looking?
Either way you want it, Commissioner May, we will receive it. Okay? All right. Thank you for that. Okay? All right, I'll consider that. The Jesus Clinic. And then you all, this is what I want to share you tonight. The mayor and I had intended to be there, but our workshop kept us from going. Charles P. Bailey today was recognized in the city of DeLand. His daughter-in-law is who drove to Maryland with me over the weekend, so I'm very familiar with his family, Wanda Bailey. Charles P. Bailey was a U.S. Army Air Force officer who was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. And he was one of their most decorated combat fighter pilots. He was born in Florida. He was Florida's first African-American fighter pilot. He flew over 133 missions over Europe and North Africa and was credited with shooting down 2 enemy aircraft. His unit never lost any bombers. For his heroics during World War II, the U.S. Army Air Corps awarded him 4 Air Medals and the Distinguished Flying Cross. Bailey also held the Presidential Unit Citation, American Campaign Medal, the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, with 1 bronze oak leaf cluster and the World War II Victory Medal. He was recognized today in DeLand, and I'm assuming that's because that's where he was born, but his home is on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Daytona Beach. And his 2 sons, one resides in the family home and one resides across the street in his own private home. And he was recognized today in DeLand. They named a street in his honor. And I think it's commendable that he lived in Daytona. I don't know why DeLand was chosen, but it was. And the family was excited when I thought I was going that not only was his county commissioner, but his city commissioner was going to be present. So I sent my regards, and I asked Commissioner Davis if she would indicate that duty called in Daytona and I could not come. And I wrote the family and told them that as well. Mm-hmm. But we have so much history in our city, and we just continue to unveil some of those things that we should be proud of. And I just wanted to recognize him in Daytona on our minutes this evening. That is Charles P. Bailey.
We'll see.
Yes, sir.
I want to express my appreciation for the Seafood Festival. It is a growing opportunity that our residents look forward to. It is growing and getting better with the passing of each year.
And Mr. Mayor, if I might interject, I'm sorry, and you can keep giving compliments, but I neglected to say our contracted vendor, Mrs. Brittany Israel. Mm-hmm. Brittany brings the vendors to us. We organize the event, and she meets with us. We meet anywhere from 3 to 4 months in advance with any of the events that I plan, and Brittany was at the table every time we met, so that she made sure that she served us the way she has for the past 5 years. And we really appreciate that partnership with her as well.
That's right. Another one of my students.
And mine as well.
Yes.
That's how we met.
Let's never think that I will ever stop praising my students.
Yes, sir.
At any rate, I just think that the festival is it's good. And the staff does an amazing job. This year I ate more food than ever. In fact, on that Saturday, I ordered 3 entrees for me alone, much less my children. I ate 2 of the entrees on Saturday and the 3rd one on Sunday. I don't eat carbs during the week, so I really piled it on that day. But the food was delicious, the atmosphere, the ambience, amazing, and I really enjoyed the Daisy and bringing Daisy into the celebration. It was a perfect venue. Everyone appreciated it. And it was something that this commission should be proud of in terms of the beauty, the atmosphere. And my children just had a blast with the activities. Let's just keep going with that. Would like to commend Mainland High School's track team, which will be sending 10 students to the track state championships. And they have had an amazing season. To that end, I would like to I believe I've already asked the city manager to bring forward a donation from my community funds of $2,500 to support their effort to make it to the state tournament. I would also like to congratulate our city manager, who will be the keynote speaker for the graduation for the 2025 class of graduates at Bethune-Cookman University. I think that this is a awesome achievement. He is an appropriate choice, and as a graduate and accomplished professional in his field, one who loves Bethune-Cookman, one who mentors, motivates, and inspires the students, in so many ways, just a super choice, and I'm very happy for you and happy with the choice that they've made. And in conclusion, I want to express my appreciation for the work that was done with the Citizens Academy, and I think it was a great addition to what you all do to bring them to us. I think it was a good question for the commissioner to sort of raise what zone do they live in, because we know that when folks go to the academy, they embrace the beauty and the importance and the significance of citizenship. And you heard me say in the past that there is no greater responsibility that we have than that of citizen. I think it was Aristotle who said that first, and I certainly embrace that and embrace our residents who want to help make our community a better place. So thank you to those of you who were a part of it, those of you who made it happen. Let's continue to make Daytona great. That concludes my remarks. Mr. Manager, do you have any?
Yeah, just a couple of remarks. Please take a look at some of the different programs that are offered through the city for our summer camps, that we still have some spots available. But also the planning department wanted me to let Commissioner Henry know that they adopted a road in her zone on Vine Street. So the plan is in the actual images. So that is their monthly project of their team building from Dennis Morozak and his planning crew, and you could see how many bags they put. And there's a sign in their zone. So many of our departments are adopting certain roads to as projects to go and clean in certain areas, and the planning division started it first, and they have Vine Street, so they will be taking care of Vine Street, so Cole won't be out there causing problems for our own planning department. That concludes my report, but we have the representative here for the audit. So
I have a question, because when I asked about naming streets, I think before we used to have to go through the county, but we could take this route now.
This is this is Keep Volusia Beautiful. We had to actually go sign up to clean this street, so it's not a naming. Planning department goes out.
No, not naming.
Yeah,
a sign saying you're going to clean it.
We had to go through the county.
Oh, so you did?
We did. Yeah,
I'd like to know that process, please.
Okay.
Okay. And Mr. Mayor, John, are you still here? Yes, I see him. John and I are in the inaugural class of the City of Daytona Beach's Citizens Academy, and look where I am today. Hey.
All right. Mr. Gross?
I don't know if you want me to give you a summary of the Attorney General opinion now, or wait until Mr. Bainziger is done with his presentation.
Since we're on this venue, I would assume that we would do that.
All right. Well, we did get an opinion letter from the Attorney General in response to the opinion that you requested me to send to the AG. I'm just paraphrasing, and I've sent you an email with more information. But essentially, the two questions were: first, when a municipality uses excess funds in the Permits and Licensing Fund, and excess funds consist of that portion of your fund that exceeds the prior 4 fiscal years average operating cost of your building code enforcement. Can a municipality, when it uses excess funds to construct a building to house the building code enforcement agency, can those costs include related expenditures such as design, permitting, the cost of constructing any stormwater improvements that might be required in association with the construction of the building, costs such as parking? The Attorney General's answer to that question was no. And the second question submitted was, in lieu of using those excess funds to construct a building, could those funds be used to, say, purchase a building if that were, more expedient and cheaper? And the Attorney General said no to that as well. So as I mentioned in my email, since I think it was November when the Commission authorized and directed me to send the request letter to the Attorney General, since that time, the City Manager and staff have presented a conceptual plan which has received an informal and non-committal blessing from you all to proceed with the design of a City Hall expansion and to use the excess funds for that purpose. And my understanding is that Assistant City Manager Andy Holmes is working on getting the design completed so that bids could be sent out and then something brought back to you for approval. Nothing in the Attorney General opinion would prohibit the use of the excess funds for that. In fact, that's exactly what the money could be used for. It's an expansion of City Hall that would be used to house the permits and licensing fund. And if you recall the proposal, and I don't know if Mr. Holmes is back there, I think it was at a rough estimate of $20 million with an estimated 8 coming from the excess P&L funds and the remainder coming from the general government impact fee. To the extent that some portions of that construction project could not or should not be funded by the excess funds based on the AG, they can be used, the impact fees can be used for that. So based on your current plans for the excess funds, I don't think that the Attorney General opinion impacts the city significantly. The only last thing I'll say about Attorney General opinions is that while they're not dispositive, courts will give deference to the Attorney General, in litigation. So the AG opinion isn't binding on the city. I don't know that it matters at this point that it's not binding, since you've kind of gone in a different direction than what you might have been considering when the request was sent out. But if there's any additional questions, either tonight or from any of you individually, I'd be happy to talk with you more about the opinion.
Okay.
So that's for landscaping for the new City Hall, sidewalks, parking lots. We can use our impact fees on that, correct?
Yeah, it's part of an expansion.
I just wanted you to say, because
it's part of an expansion project.
I was given a lot of crap heck from staff, but I knew this was correct. Yeah. So that's why I wanted this in the open, because I knew I was correct with that law stated. So thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we'll hear from our presenter, Colin. I am worn out.
Well, good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Colin Benziger and Associates, and I appreciate you kind of pushing this item to the very end. As you may or may not know, I was in Salt Lake City this morning, and flight was delayed 30 minutes. I literally rushed home, got looking somewhat decent, and here I am. I'm here tonight to discuss the city auditor with you. As you know, my firm has been retained to help the city find the city auditor that's provided in your charter. We went out, recruited candidates. We came down to 4 candidates that met the criteria laid out in your charter, specifically that they did need to have a CPA. We had a 5th candidate that frankly, with his experience and credentials, he did not have a CPA, but otherwise was very qualified. Obviously, since he didn't meet the charter requirements, we didn't bring him forward. Since then, one of the 4 candidates has withdrawn, Robert Marchmeyer, and we are left with 3 at this point. I believe most of the commissioners have had an opportunity to talk to these 3 candidates. So my question, I guess there's two questions tonight. The first question, threshold question, would be, do you want to bring some or any or all of these candidates in for an interview? I mean, I recommend you do an in-person interview. You may want to move forward just based on your telephone calls and video interviews. And then the second question would be, assuming that you do want to bring somebody in or some people in for an interview, when would you like to do that? And I understand many of the commissioners work, so I would suggest we either do it in an evening or on a Saturday. Probably a Saturday, because all of the candidates do work themselves. So those are my two questions to you. First of all, the three candidates we have are Rory Galter. He's with the city of Dallas, Texas, as an internal auditor. Abinay Belichu, and he he's with AID, the Agency for International Development, and as you may know, that agency is being phased out under the new administration. But he's had a number of reasonably high-level positions there, and he has quite a few credentials. He's a CPA as well as a certified internal auditor. I believe he's a certified fraud auditor, and so on and so forth. And then the last candidate is Russell Needler. He's with the city of Chicago and a CPA. I believe he has some other credentials as well. But in my haste, I didn't bring their resumes with me, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. I apologize for that. So I guess the first question is, do you want to bring some, or any of these candidates in? And I'll leave that for commission discussion.
I'd like to meet them.
Preference, or
I'd
like to meet them. Yes.
I would like to meet them too, all three of them.
Yeah.
All three of them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Oh, anybody wants to meet all three of them? Okay, fine.
All
Let's
right.
bring them in.
That's great.
I thought they were.
Sorry.
I thought they were excellent candidates.
Well, thank you.
Based on my research of what a good candidate should be, and they were all knowledgeable. So I didn't have a reason to say that any one of them should be excluded.
Mm-hmm.
So based on my interview.
Okay.
And a Saturday is what we did.
With you.
Yeah. And a Saturday is what we did for our city manager
Saturday's
position,
what
and
we
we
did.
just rotated.
Yeah, just rotate around.
And then the second question would be a date. I've got my calendar here.
Are we wanting a Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's up
Okay.
to you,
That's
obviously.
what we did in the past.
How long will it take?
Well, that's the question. Do you want to do one-on-one interviews in person, which is what we recommend, and then follow it up with a full commission interview, which we also recommend?
Correct.
If we did that with three candidates, you're probably talking about like three commissioners interviewing three candidates, and then four commissioners interviewing three candidates one-on-one in the morning, and then in the afternoon you'd do three candidates, sequentially, one at a time for, say, 30 minutes. So I would guess you'd be spending a couple of hours on Saturday morning, and then probably a couple hours Saturday afternoon.
And then we'll convey together. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big decision and important. So, when do y'all want to do this? Which Saturday?
I'm open whenever you guys, except for June 7th. That's our Commissioner Henry and his, I can't do June 7th either. That's what we were just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Misunderstood.
As far out as possible for me. I plan my schedule about a month and a half out on Saturdays. So as far out as possible. The latest possible for me.
Yeah, the only risk, of course, is that at least one of these that Mr. Belichew's in the market.
Yeah, they're in the market.
Whereas, I mean, he's still working now with the wind down, phase down of the Agency for International Development, but it's
Could we
possible he
do
might
the-
get another job.
24th then? May 24th?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, what about the 17th? You can't do next
No,
Saturday?
I can't, it's too
No.
soon. So, it's,
Which one could you do?
yes.
June 21st?
June 14th?
June 21st?
June 21st. Okay, it's a long way
I
out.
can't do June 21st, a long way out.
Yeah.
Well, can you all do a Sunday?
I can,
I could do a Sunday.
Ah,
I can make a Sunday work.
yeah, I can make a Sunday work.
second.
Can we do a Sunday?
If we have
Other
to.
field will be all right.
I don't go down Sunday. I go down.
Then if we do a Sunday, can we do,
Salty on Sunday.
Oh, okay,
You'll be okay.
okay.
Thank you for staying, ladies.
if we do a Sunday, could we do the 25th then?
No.
Oh,
It's Memorial Day
I
again.
keep forgetting. It doesn't show that on my calendar, sorry.
June 1st, maybe?
Oh, June 8th?
One second,
June 1st?
1 second.
Yeah, we need to get to this.
I'm good with either of those. June 1st or 8th.
I'm good.
Let's get it June 1st.
Ben, how does this work with making it, Ben? Do we have to public notice it? What's the procedure with something like this? Does it become a town hall?
You all could decide to have public input, but the only required part of the meeting that would be public is where you all get together, presumably in the afternoon is what, after your individual interviews, and you meet to interview and make decision.
Okay.
Sorry.
So June 1, June 8, where are we all?
June 1,
1 second.
waiting for.
I have a request if we do June 1, please. My request is that I can, so I work 7 days a week. So that being the case, if I could have the morning, the first
Whatever your schedule needs
the first possible earliest appointment you have.
We'll work with you,
And
absolutely.
if I can do that, then I can maybe change a couple of things. But if I just know, I just need to, just the
How
first
early
possible.
would you like to
As
start?
early as possible.
7?
As early as possible. Whatever works for you, as early as possible.
Okay.
Well, then you have to take into consideration we don't want them waiting on the rest of us. I would think like maybe 8.
8's probably more
That's fine.
Okay. Because you're going to have 3 concurrent going on at the same
So
time.
the first round is at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the second round is at what time?
Well, the first round would start at 8, and you'd have like 40 minutes each, so you'd be done at 10.
Okay.
And then you would do, in the afternoon, I'd have to double check if I could get back to you tomorrow. I just have to see how the times work out. But I would say probably 1:30.
So if we work it out and then just confer with you, Commissioner May, on which one of those times would be best for you.
Yep. My preference would be that I do the first in the morning,
Yeah.
and then the last appointment in the evening.
Yeah, well, it'll be, the afternoon is with all the commissioners, so
Okay.
it's just, there
All right.
really isn't a, separate appointment then.
Okay.
So June 1?
All right, June 1.
Did you need 40 minutes?
No, I don't know if I need
Yeah,
40
I don't need 40 minutes.
30?
Yeah, I don't need 40 minutes. I don't really need that long.
What, 20?
25 minutes.
25.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll schedule 25. I'll give you a little break between each one and like 5 minutes, and then, so you'll start, say, at 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30. And then we might be able to start earlier in the afternoon, too. But you'd rather be late. Okay.
I like fruit now.
Thank you.
So 25 minutes and 5 minutes in between. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, because a lot of us have already talked to them and then asked questions too. So.
That's a good point. Not normally, that's not the way we do it, but
Right.
but that's okay. Well,
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
You're right. All right. Thank you.
well, thank you. And, it's great seeing you all again.
Tish, where is this going to be held? At City Hall?
Yeah, right here. Yeah, I was making sure the staff knew to have.
We'll get the
to feed
logistics
us
of it.
because that's a long
Yeah,
day.
that's right. So we'll get the logistics of where we'll set you guys up. I remember when we did it for the city manager and for the city attorney, back before when we hired Bob, how we did it then. So.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. 25, I think, is what was correct.
Yes, of your morning.
Yeah. So if we start you at 8, you'll be done at 9:30.
9:30, 10, yeah.
Yeah, but you'll get one at.
I'll go first with
I'll
her.
show you.
You can put me on the first round with her.
Okay. Does anybody else want to go early?
I'll go early.
Okay, Commissioner Reed.
And I can go to church. Thank you for coming. We were about to push you to the next meeting, so this keeps us going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, as I said, for waiting for me. Not the way I hoped to arrive here.
Yeah, we're glad you made it. All right.
Thank you.
All right. We'll now hear from the greatest residents on earth.
Okay, our first speaker is it Glenn Landau? And on deck is Leticia Baptiste.
Leticia Baptiste. Who is that? Sounds like one of my students.
Glenn Landau, 722 North Seagrave Street, Daytona Beach. I'd like to thank you all for letting me speak today. We need to see what the city can do about the 700 block of North Seagrave Street. It's literally getting crime ridden. I mean, we have delivery people that can no longer deliver. Uber is marked as a red flag area because of the crime. The drug dealing, prostitution, and the, I don't know, the homelessness living on the city right-of-ways and the city property. You know, I don't know whether you can direct law enforcement to start enforcing it more. There's been 3 fights there this month already that law enforcement had to respond to.
700 block of Seabrook, great.
Give us a.
I'm going by and see.
Madison and Kingston.
I was there today and I looked at it and just thought, my God.
Yeah, it's getting, you know, last year it's gotten out of control. I know the city has signs down at North Street, city logo and no trespassing and loitering. So, you know, we're just asking, can you direct somebody, put those crime trucks or that camera thing we had out there, start monitoring it and do something with it. You know, that's most of the businesses out there. We have no trespassing and loitering signs, but they tear them down. So I know that Public Works does come in and clean up, I think once a week now, but it looks worse than a third world country out there now.
Wow.
So I thought the point behind having the police substation there was to actually have police there. Are there police there? I've driven by there. I see the signs because I helped to get that little thing going there with the building. Are you seeing police activity there at all?
They'll come through. Sometimes they'll get on the intercoms. One of them drove around the corner as somebody was getting punched in the face the other day, so they had all kinds of cops there. But, you know, they're driving through there, and basically the people will hide, and then they come right back out after they drive away.
Is there anything we can do, Mr. Manager, about that? Any assistance we can give? Given that we have a substation there, can we do more things there? That's how we put it there?
I think they closed that substation.
The substation has been closed because the facility was not being maintained by the property owners. The chief is actually listening to it, but there has been a issue in another jurisdiction, so he's dealing with that right now. But he is paying attention to it. But I know, as he stated, that police have been looking at it, Public Works has been looking at it, and then we'll just try to find ways that there are other things that we could do to improve and add more support to that area.
So, you know, we changed zones, then we changed zones back again. So for the first 4 years, I was in that zone. Then we moved zones, and I'm back in your zone again, right? So feel free to contact me. Is it coming from a particular place?
I think it's Mr. Strickland's zone.
Switch back. There we go. Switch back, yes. So when did it start picking up again? I'm just curious.
I'd say probably the last 8 months now, it's really gotten bad.
Okay. All right. So prior to that, it was different zones. Okay. So where do you think it's coming from? Because you're paying attention to it. Where's it coming from?
It's all a commercial area, so the people don't live there, but they come in to sell. And,
Transients.
we used to think that it was the day labor place, but
Right.
they come in off of Kingston. I don't know whether one zone's on Kingston selling drugs, and then, then we got the Seagrave. I mean, Daytona came in, sat there one day and did a one and done deal, arrested a couple people. But there was a motor officer there Monday, and he was just shaking his head. He couldn't believe they were selling drugs while he was parked there on the property doing paperwork. And he was going to get with his supervisors, but I don't know where they basically come from. I mean, it's throughout the night now, but it's
Okay.
pretty regular.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Leticia Baptiste, and on deck is John Nicholson.
Can I say something real quick, Mayor, before you start? I'm sorry. I'm sure a few of you have seen the videos that this man puts up. I forget his name. And one of them is on US 1 in Ridgewood, Fairview, the sidewalks. I don't know. You get blamed for it. But just so everyone knows, those are not Daytona sidewalks. Those are DOTs. And I have talked to DOT at one of my meetings this week, and they are looking into those sidewalks. So when you see those videos, if you want, you can let them know. They're not our sidewalks. We take care of our sidewalks.
Hello, my name is Leticia Baptiste, 1148 Ginsburg Drive, Daytona Beach. It's been a while since I came in front of you guys. Back in 2014, I was a GM at Church's Chicken when the road, Orange Avenue, was being re-imaged. So I have later, branched off and did different brands that serve the community as a general manager in restaurant business. I have recently ventured on to open my own restaurant. And the goal is I'm coming to you guys to see if I can get any kind of help, like lead me in the direction of any kind of grants where I can bring back just the love of food while elderly after church, just bring it back where they can sit down and eat and be comfortable. Just bringing the passion back where I can serve. And the same thing I did for other brands, I would love to do for myself, for the community. Those are the surrounding areas. So I just want to have this moment to say if there's anything you guys could do to help. I'm actually looking forward to opening up 538 Mary McLeod Bethune. And, it's going to be called Tisa's. And I really look forward into, serving with passion, serving with love, So thank y'all for your time.
Ms. Baptiste?
That's on 2nd Avenue. It's the redevelopment area.
Oh, I thought you said 538 MLK.
Maybe I said it wrong.
MMB? Okay. 538.
Yes.
And what is that by? Like what's a?
Is it the old Ken Folks?
No.
Okay.
It's further down, close to the railroad tracks.
Okay.
I think you guys are going to be doing something across the street. Like I think the city is doing something like a new developed apartment complex.
Are you going to be adjacent to the the Midtown Cafe area?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Karen.
So definitely contact the redevelopment team, Michelle Tolliver. There are funds available for rehabbing facilities and also providing grants for improvements for restaurants and retail inside. So Michelle Tolliver in the redevelopment, but we have your number and we'll make sure to provide it to them as well tomorrow.
Yes, I don't think I put my number on that paper. If I can please put my number on there. Any help? I did hear something about
And when you looking to open up?
Well, my goal was June 2nd. Ran into a few tights, but so I'm reaching out for any kind of help, and I promise to deliver. I promise to deliver just like I did the other brands, and just deliver like I should.
So tell me what the menu's going to look like since you're going to deliver.
Well, it's going to be, for every grain of rice and seasoned green beans and, black eyed peas and, turkey wings, just, that type of food to feed the soul, so I'm looking forward to it.
Very
We'll
good.
look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know that's right. Turkey wings. I don't like them wet now. I like them a little dry.
I like them wet and dry. I just love my children too.
The police officer has provided her Michelle Tolliver's card, so that's good. She's doing more than law.
Our next speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck is Barbara Powery.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. First, I'd like to thank the city manager for hiring Ann Ruby. It'd be a waste with all the expertise she has is not using it for the city. We have talent in our community. We might as well use it. Secondly, I want to ask, especially Paula and Danette, the county has put aside $20 million to buy properties damaged by the floods. If you know anybody in Midtown, now's the time to tell them if they want to sell, because they had been mentioned several times at the meetings that they would love to sell and get out. But at this point, if they have $20 million and they're ready to buy, let our people get the first ones. Don't go in last and the money's already run out. So, because some of the other houses on the west side, we're talking $500,000, $800,000. So $20 million will go real fast if you're buying property for $800,000 or $1 million. And there's a place called Miller Lake. These people have been showing up every single meeting, and they want out. So I'm asking you to let our people get in there first. So if anybody wants to sell, let our people get first. Secondly, beachside appearance. I've had several people make comments about it. The new roadway is the pits, personally. A1A. It's a curvy thing. I don't know what they're going to do for landscaping or whatever. They're tearing up beach approaches and things of that nature. But the appearance of A1A, the median, is not the best. They just put this huge pole on Oak Ridge. So there really needs to have us look, because this is our tourist industry. This is, people are coming expecting the best. They don't want second rate or third rate. And if we don't pay attention to our area, they'll go somewhere else. I've been trying to read the Park and Rec report that you got. I've been spending each morning for an hour, 2-3 hours, sitting in the lobby reading this report. I'm not happy with it, but it doesn't mention anything. You had 3 or 4 dozen people show up at your meeting several months ago wanting a tennis center because we've torn out their tennis center. They want a new one. It is not mentioned at all in the, well, actually, there is one line that says the public would like tennis and volleyball. That's it. No other mention about it. So where is the tennis replacement? Nothing been said. I really think there are enough tennis players left to warrant a tennis center. Secondly, volleyball. There are enough volleyball players. And pickleball has not been mentioned. So there are things that we need. Thank you.
Our final speaker tonight is Barbara Powery.
Hi everyone, I am not a resident, so I just want to start off with that, but I want to say hello to the Honorable Mayor Henry and to Mr. Fisher. I know I didn't say that right. I thought that they misspelled your name in a headliner, and I thought preacher, they must have misspelled this. But anyway, City Manager, nice to meet you, and all of you dignitaries, thank you so much for having me and giving me an opportunity to speak. I will be brief, but I know I said 2 things that I wanted to speak on, and that is, as a citizen, a new potential resident, I wanted to comment on just my observations these 2 weeks that I've been here. I wish I could say that today was more positive. Fortunately, it wasn't, so I'll come to that. But let me start off with just telling you a little bit about me very quickly. My name is Barbara Del Carmen Powery. I am a digital creator, according to Google, and I have increased my views on Facebook by from 9,200 in September when I asked for the professional dashboard to 52,000 in 5 months. And so I began to assess, well, how did that happen? Because not only was I teaching in 2020 4 or 5 times a day during the pandemic, but I wasn't aware of my statistics. And so Fresno, California is my #1 city, which is where I've lived for the last 26 years. And I'm originally from Palm Beach County, graduate of North Shore High School. So I came back this time to celebrate my 40th class reunion and getting ready for that class reunion. So I traveled Valentine's weekend. And so being here more than 52 days, and I marked 52 days because I'm a woman of God, and if Nehemiah could build the wall in 52 days, then I felt like I could do what I was commissioned to do. And that was to actually begin my musical play and actually have a production in place. I wasn't able to achieve much filming on this trip. However, I was able to talk to some very talented people, including people here in Daytona. And so with that in mind, my goal is to really have an initiative that supports both California and Florida. I was originally a natural, I would say I had about 7 different bosses during this period of time when Lawton Childs was governor, and I worked for the Department of Commerce in the 90s. But it was a very interesting position. I am a small and minority business advocate. I really believe strongly in business and economic development. So my intent in coming to the city was actually to get to know the city as much as I could. And I interact with people in ways that you probably wouldn't necessarily approve of, but I'll just suggest that people stop judging based on what they see, because you never know who you're going to meet. And that was some of my experience these past 2 weeks. And I'll give you an example. I'm traveling, so anytime that I have my suitcase with me and I'm looking very well dressed, and I am
sorry,
someone
ma'am, your
who
time's
can
expired.
Can I just wrap it up with this last note? Yes.
30 seconds.
Great. So I just wanted to make that comment because you will hear more from me. But one of the things that I want to suggest is that you have a welcome committee, because honestly, I was treated well, but then I felt that the more I talked business, the more ideas was basically taken from me and initiated. So when I cultivate the field, I expect to collect the diamonds, and I didn't appreciate that from the business community. But I will say this, the Million Cups, which is something that Cinematique does on a weekly basis, supports entrepreneurs. I just think that you really need to look at the way that you are doing the city, because no one should see a divide like someone did see, including myself. So I spoke to someone from Washington State. Okay, but I just want you to work on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Our final speaker is it Jack Crutchfield?
Oh. I'm cold.
My name's Jack Crutchfield, 122 Minerva Road, Daytona Beach, Florida. Thank you for hearing me out here. 1969, I moved here and just got out of the Air Force. Wow. And I picked Daytona Beach, Florida because of the tennis courts down here. You had 6 beautiful courts. I didn't know how to play tennis, but I thought in my spare time, this would be some place that I'd love to learn how to play. I lived 2.5 miles from the tennis courts. I was able to walk or take my bicycle there. And over the next 57 years, I've played tennis down there. And it's gone through a lot of different changes. My wife went to school with Wendy Overton, who was the first female tennis player from Daytona Beach, turned pro. And there was a lot of tennis has been played down there, and a lot of different people have learned and made careers out of learning how to play right down there. And I just would like to know, those tennis courts have been closed now for 3 years. And is there any time schedule, or can you let us know what's going to happen to these things? Are they going to be replaced? Does anybody have an answer?
Commissioners, as you all are aware, the problem with the building the tennis courts in that particular area is they flood, and we can't spend the money back from FEMA to build tennis courts in the same area. So staff is looking at that, but that is the biggest issue in the holdup because that is a flood area, and it would have to be raised up pretty well. Staff is looking at areas of the green space. I know that Commissioner Cantu knows about the green space. That's where the trunk or treat is. But if putting tennis courts back in those same areas could be problematic for us and not get the funding that FEMA requires us to make sure that they don't stay in the same flooding area. So there are conversations, and I know some people don't want to go to a very good tennis center that we have on LPGA, and so we're looking at areas on the corridor in the downtown core to put back tennis courts.
Well, can I say one thing about the flooding? Those courts were there for over 100 years. If they're hard courts, they're not. It's not going to affect them because you can also use those to play pickleball on. So they were flooded. They've been through 20 hurricanes that I know of. The only reason they were damaged was because they weren't maintained. It'd been 15 years since those courts had been resurfaced. The last time they were resurfaced was Glenn Ritchie was sitting in your seat right there. So if you don't maintain something, that's what happens to them. But I mean, it's just like a road. The water's going to run off of the things, and believe me, they didn't have any problem all those years, and just because they weren't maintained was the main reason we had the problem with them. But I understand they had to take them because of the Jackie Robinson Park, and I think that'd be a fair trade-off to move them over there by the library and still have access to City Island, because a lot of people come from the hotels and all that. They used to come down there and play. They're right across the bridge. They can't go up.
Thank you, sir. Your time is expired.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes our meeting. Good night.